Well, that made me giggle. That works. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the
Hey,
Cubist. My name is Bill Corey. I am the Cubist, and we're here. It's Monday, and Brandon is attempting to scowl.
that's my scowl.
That's your scowl. Looks
Something I don't know.
like the people's eyebrow. All right. So Brandon Kemp from the What Did You Play This Week podcast. Hello, Brandon, and your eyebrow. How are you?
Hello, Bill. How are you?
I am well. And we also have Mr. Patrick Hillier of
Hey, I'm back.
What Did You Play This Week and the conversation thing and all kinds of stuff. You are indeed back. Yay.
Kind of fun.
Today, we have chosen a topic specifically because we know that we will grumble about it a little bit. We're going to talk disposable games, what I call one-shot games. So we're going to talk about that a little bit later, specifically stuff that is intended to not be replayable. So we'll be hitting that later, but as always, we will start. Oh, and Kimberly will be joining us a little bit later in the show. She can't make it right at launch, but she'll be here later on to join us on the one-shot topic. So, but before we get to all that stuff, let's talk about what we've been playing lately. Patrick.
Yes.
You have to drink.
I put up a poll and I let people vote. I haven't had a chance to get over to the chat room yet. I put up either Terraforming Mars, Halus and Elysium, or Century Spice Road. And Century Spice Road was winning last time I checked. So I'll go ahead and talk about that.
There you go. Well, and then we'll end up talking about Halus and Elysium anyway.
There you go.
I wanted to as it was. So there you go. Very good.
That was the other reasons I went with that side. So what I wanted to talk about, I know Jamie said he talked about it a couple of weeks ago, but actually I had my only third play at CraigCon West, which we could talk about a little bit too.
CraigCon. Please do.
CraigCon. And I'm kind of bored with it. I really liked it when I first played it.
Really?
And I was kind of like, you know what? I'm kind of done with this. The problem is the bottom row. The bottom row keeps coming out, and I'm dissatisfied with that. When we played it at Origins, we didn't get any of the extra. You guys have all played it, right? So let me talk a little bit about the game first of all, for those who haven't played, right? So you start with two cards. You have two cards, one card that lets you draw to yellow, and one card lets you upgrade your yellows to some other spices. And I don't remember what the spices are. Yellow becomes red, red becomes green, green becomes brown, which was like cinnamon, cardamom, cumin, and something. Saffron. And your goal is to use different spices to buy some victory point cards at the top row, like say, 3 brown and 2 yellow, and get 18 points. And maybe if it's the first two cards, you get some bonus points. So anyway, the bottom row are like additional engine building cards. So, maybe you can get some more cubes, maybe 3 cubes at a time, or convert 3 yellow cubes into 2 brown cube, 1 brown cube, or something to that effect to help you build your engine. The challenge is you start off with just the two cubes that get you one card that gets you 2 yellow cubes. When we played our card game at Origins, we never got a card out that gave us extra cubes.
Just all the ones that changed the cubes.
Just all the ones that changed it. And Eric commented that never happened to him before in all of his play testing, and he plays with Emerson and his group.
Yeah.
And then I played, hey, there's Eric. Speak of the devil.
Hello.
Hey, Eric.
Hello, Eric Buscemi from Punchboard Media and many other places fame. How are you?
Hello, I'm good. How are you?
I'm well. We were just invoking your name, and lo, but you appeared.
Yes.
How about that?
So I was talking about Century and my third play and how I'm done with it. So I was talking about how on our play at Origins, we didn't get any of the draw new cube cards. And then I played it again with young Zach, and that was fine. And then we played it again over the weekend with at CraigCon, and the same thing happened. And none of the new cube cards came out, and there was just junk. No one wanted any of the cards in the bottom, and people kept dumping cubes on it. I know that's supposed to like make it tempting, but it just felt like we were like being forced to take junky cards we didn't want just to get a couple cubes to try to flush out that bottom card row. And if it had a flush mechanism or something, that would make it better. But it was just tiresome. Unfortunately.
Wow, tiresome. That is that's a rough descriptor for any board game, right? Like that's one of those words that is as big of a red flag as you're ever going to get.
Right. And I really loved it the first time I played it, and even the second time. But now I'm just starting to see that it's going to kind of get old.
Are all these times with your copy?
No.
Are the first 2 times with a different copy?
Yeah, the first one, I don't know whose copy it was. We played at Origins.
I'm just wondering if your copy doesn't have the right card distribution. I'm dead serious because the time I played with you, the same thing happened.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, they're not the second time. Zach's copy did not have the problem with it. It wasn't Craig's copy. It was one of Craig's friend's copy. So
those ones that give you those ones that give you the spices straight up aren't plentiful. There's really only 5, right? Is it 5 or?
But there's also ones that let you straight up upgrade them.
Yeah.
Not transition. I need XYZ to get ABC. Just ones that say you.
Yeah, the gray
drop
one.
this card. Yeah.
Yeah, you get the yellow to a red or whatever.
No, I was just talking about
like
straight up just get some more cubes. It just, I had 2 yellow cubes and I had all these upgrade cards or transition cards, but I'd only could start with 2 cubes. And just like, okay, I had to discard and then drop 2, like 3 turns in a row just to get more yellow cubes to be able to do anything the way my hands sorted out.
Well, I'm really curious to know about the card count theory. Like now I'm really, really curious
just how the cards are shuffled. They're not, and if you're not taking cards from there, you're not going to see cards. You know, that's just how it's going to go. If you don't want what's out there, people can dump what they want to. You're never going to see a new one if you don't take something.
Yeah. So, and
so. Okay.
Right.
So Patrick, have you talked?
I'm blaming it on the game and maybe we,
yeah.
Right. Or maybe we.
Daniel Newman in the chat room wants you to physically go count your cards right now.
Okay. I don't own it.
Oh, it's not your okay. He can't count his cards, Daniel.
Someone needs to go count the cards for me.
Okay, maybe. Somebody go count the damn cards. All right, so here's my question. I don't recall, because I'm a bad show host, on whether you've talked about Century Spice Road on the show before.
I've not.
Feel like you have not. Okay, good, because I didn't remember you doing it, so I was like, this is me dancing around in case I had screwed this up somewhere. All right, so you've got, what, 3 plays you said under your belt now? 3 or 4? Something like that? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right, and you used the word tiresome, so I'm going to guess that we're not going to get a resoundingly positive review here, but Cubist scale, buy it, play it, forget it, or burn it.
Still play it.
Still a play it? Okay.
Yeah.
So what I wonder, so the game that I feel like this got compared to, maybe not mechanically, but like in weight and feel. Oh, Brandon.
Oh, yeah.
Don't do it. Don't say it.
What?
Don't say it.
Don't say Splendor.
Don't say Splendor.
I already did. Now what do I do?
Come on. Drink.
Now, dig your own hole.
Unsay it.
All right, I'm unsay. What? All right, come on, Scowl Master. Why? Why what I say?
It does Century Spice Road a disservice. Splendor's crap.
Splendor's crap. Okay, got it. So let's assume though that you don't hate Splendor.
Okay.
All right. As far what I meant when I said that it gets compared to that is not because they are both good or both bad or whatever, but that they are both on the lighter side of a medium game, right? Like they are gamery, just gamery enough that they're not quite like like a gateway game, but they're light enough that they don't have lots of, you know what I mean? Like it's not there isn't a huge complexity there. Is
that's accurate? Yeah, you can compare them weight wise.
Right. Mm-hmm. That's where the only place I was going to with this, because I've only played Splendor, I think, twice.
That's acceptable.
They also so both only have like one main mechanism and then like one bit of a supporting mechanism, and that's it. That to me is the big comparison. They're both very pure engine builders with a slight set collection hand management thing going on. One set collection being Splendor and hand management being or the hand building, whatever you want to call it.
So the reason that I drew this comparison is because when people that I've talked to that liked or anybody that I've talked to that has strong feelings about Splendor, with the possible exception of Brandon, because now I'm really scared to finish my thought here, was that they really liked it at first, and then they either liked the simplicity and wanted to just milk that engine builder and make it amazing, or B,
I thought he took his headphones off because of you.
Right. Or so they either really liked the simplicity and wanted to optimize it, or B, got bored with the simplicity really fast and moved away from it. Is this that same kind of thing where you think there are going to be some folks that are going to really want to just make this game theirs, or is it just not, is that not a fair comparison? Help me out here.
No, I think that's reasonable.
Okay. Are you at that point, Patrick? Have you just already maybe progressed through that curve?
Well, I guess I was looking at it because we played Splendor a lot, and I thought it'd be a good family game for us to pick up, but I never did. And then this came out, and I was kind of hoping to get it, and now I'm like, man, I don't want to get that either. Like I played Splendor a couple of times and never got it for the same reason. So I just don't think I'm not going to get either of them.
I want to throw something at you. Everyone knows that the Century Spice Road is the first in an upcoming trilogy.
Yeah.
I've gotten to play a prototype of the second because Emerson is local to me.
Yeah.
And I'm not supposed to say too much about it, but it definitely ups the complexity.
That's what we were wondering that as we were talking about it.
It adds a modular board that you move a piece around on.
Mm-hmm.
And the actions you could take are based on where you go on the board.
Cool.
Okay. Gotcha. So you heard it here first. Part D is more. Sorry, Emerson. He's talking. No, I'm kidding. All right. So for you, it's a play it still, Patrick.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's worth playing if you see if you like it.
Gotcha.
Nothing bad about it.
That's fair. That's fair. All right. I haven't, no one, well, my problem is that I haven't been able to get my game group together for much of any gaming lately. So I haven't played a lot of new stuff. I'm definitely behind the curve at this point. I'm hoping to catch up on some of that post Gen Con, because I have a feeling that I'm going to suddenly see a lot of games appearing in my, you know what I mean? In my vicinity around as soon as that happens, and then I'll finish catching up at BGG. That's
now Daniel in the chat room said forget it, and we had a little discussion over there that I'm also pretty easygoing on games. I can't think of anything that I would ever say forget it to. So,
oh man, I'm not.
Bill froze.
Yeah, he's having some technical issues with his.
Hey, it's not me this week.
With his internet, it's the Wisconsin internet, not the New York City internet. That's causing this problem.
Since the last time I was on this, I have upgraded my internet and my router, and I've hardwired it instead of using wireless. So if I have problems now, I don't even know.
Yeah,
I've done everything I can to fix it. Because terrible internet is terrible.
So you've answered the question, right, Patrick? It's a play it. Okay,
play it from me. All right, Brandon.
All right, Mr. Eric Buscemi.
Eric's up next. Okay.
Oh, I like the game, and I call it a play it too, if that was your question.
No, we're just going to see what you've been playing.
Oh, well, I got Go Nuts for Donuts from, when I backed it, it was from Daily Magic Games, but now it's coming out from GameRate.
Uh-huh.
And Go Nuts for Donuts is it's a small box game that GameRite has put in a medium-sized box because, this is a family show, so I'm not going to finish that thought. But it should be in a double deck box. It's about 70 cards and then 7 tokens. Yeah. And you deal out a bunch of cards, and everyone selects what card they want simultaneously. And if you select the same card as someone, no one gets it. But if you're the only person that selects it, then you get it and you add it to your tableau, and it'll give you points. And the cards look very similar to Sushi Go in the art style and the way they give you points, because some will give you points individually or some will give them to you in a set. So that is more or less how the game plays. You play through the deck, and then whoever has the most points wins. So it's a very simple game. My kids love it. I'm okay with it. And my biggest gripe is that I should be able to throw this in my glove compartment, because that will be perfect with my kids, and I could just have it for family trips or if we're out at a restaurant or something. But it is in a box it's like the size of the Carcassonne box, and it's ridiculous.
Gotcha. Yeah, I didn't see the picture. Apparently, you posted one somewhere because somebody else said they saw it.
Yeah,
Mason also went on a lengthy rant on Twitter when he got his. He actually beat me to the punch on that, but that's his bag, so of course he did, or his box.
We got 2 bills.
So we're
good.
Right? I would rate Go Nuts for donuts. I would rate it a play. For me, and that comes from someone that plays it with his kids. So if you have kids and you're like me, you should probably play it with them, and if you don't, you should ignore this.
Yep. I hate that folks have to complain about box sizes. I wish everybody had all the space that I do, and I feel bad when I don't complain about them, because it doesn't matter. You can give me a small card game in a huge box, I'll just throw it on a shelf somewhere and I'll be fine.
But it's not about that. It's about, this is the kind of game that I would bring places with my kids, and
gotcha.
I can fit the game on the shelf. I mean, at some point,
get you a quiver?
I do not own a quiver, but I don't own enough games to warrant. I don't own enough of those kind of games to warrant a quiver. Like, I don't own 6 or X Nymph.
Yeah,
and I
all
don't
the
know.
variations thereof.
Yeah, I mean, I could probably list in like one hand the number of games I have that are like quiver style games.
Oh, see, I need to get myself a quiver bad. I keep putting it off and putting it off, but I need to just go ahead and do it because I have a ton of those kind of games. Hell, I was thinking about getting a quiver just for Arkham Horror. Like, you could basically no, I'm serious. You could use that just for Arkham Horror, and
you're laughing. But if I got a quiver,
that's what it would go in it.
No, I would put like my Doomtown cards in it. Like, they probably all fit in there.
Exactly. I think LCGs are I mean,
make it nice. Nice warm leather.
Isn't that basically how Quiver? I mean, that's the whole idea originally behind Quiver, right? Was for Magic players, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So there you go. Perfect.
Yeah, that makes sense.
All right. Just for the record, my internet sucks, and I'm aware of that. But Go Nuts for Donuts is one of the best game titles ever. I didn't hear anything else about the game, but now I want because that's a great title per game. I don't care. I don't even care if it sucks. I just want. I want to have a box.
I can confirm for you, Bill, the game doesn't suck. It's just a very simple family style game with cute Sushi Go kind of art and scoring.
Very good.
Except instead of drafting, it's simultaneous action selection.
That can be fun. I'm down with that. Hey, so we need to start a drinking game. Can we start a drinking game?
I don't have a drink.
Yeah, me neither.
But that's all right. It's not about it, but we got House and Elysium.
So we're gonna drink every time his internet goes out?
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah, we're gonna drink. I can't believe
it was
Bill is on Mars, and we're getting a signal from Mars tonight.
There you go. No, so this is the expansion map for Terraforming Mars. Obviously, it is literally just board. To be clear, for those of you that maybe didn't know anything about this and heard,
We're losing you, Bill.
Yeah, Bill.
Again? Oh, for the love of Pete.
You are like robot. It's something. Stephen Bonacore is doing something to you from Mars.
Yeah, probably.
It's odd.
Am I there?
You want me to
Can you hear me at least?
Yep, yes. But you're sputtering and you get robot-y.
All right. Well, I turned off my camera, so you'll just have to look at my exciting avatar picture.
This is much better looking.
Yes. Well, it is very pretty. It's fine. So the double-sided board expansion. Basically, it's literally just 2 new maps. Well, it's really, there's really 2 parts to this expansion, not just the 2 sides. Each, so the maps are different, obviously. So you get different placement bonuses, and there's different, spatial. There aren't necessarily. Well, we know that this is the best place to put this tile and whatever. Gets you a little bit out of that groupthink. More importantly, it changes up the milestones and awards that you can score, which is, I think, the really big deal here. This changes those first to do this goals and the person with the most goals, which therefore reprioritizes the deck. And I think that's the big, that to me, Patrick, seems like the big selling point. Do you agree?
Sure. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay. I think that, so like on the Hellas side, the milestones are 8 different tags, 5 cards with requirements. play along in the bottom 2 rows of the map. 6 energy production and 3 Jovian tags are your milestones. So there's, we're already changing things drastically. There were no milestones that required you to build in specific spots in the on the base map. So this already is prioritizing part of the map, which is cool. And then there's an award for most greenery and most resources and most building tags. So my point is that I think the selling point here is that it's going to force you to reevaluate every card in the deck instead of getting new cards, which is what I originally thought was going to be the focus of their expansion strategy. Now they're just getting you to relook at the cards that you already have and reevaluate them, which I think is pretty awesome. So I really dig the idea. I have not had a chance to play it yet, but I will say that I think this is going to extend the lifespan of this game by a lot. And I did not expect that. I was going to buy this just to be a completist. I really dig where their heads are at with this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Now you've gotten a chance to play it solo, right, Patrick?
Yeah, I did Elysium side just the night I got it, just to make sure I got it was a play in.
Yeah, for sure. And I haven't had a chance to even do that yet. So I really, I really dig the idea behind this. I don't know, obviously I'm not in any position to recommend it or not yet, but I will say that I think it seems to me like if you like Terraforming Mars as much as Patrick does, well, then there's something wrong with you. But if you like it as much as the average gamer does, then this is probably a no-brainer to me. I think this is an easy buy it. So there you go.
Sure. And it's just, like I said, it's just a board. I mean,
yeah, I will say that a $20 price tag for just a board feels weird, right? Yeah. Like it's not just me. I'm not saying that it's too expensive because I know playtesting and design work is worth something. And so I'm definitely not complaining, but that feels.
How much was it?
$20.
Well, you all paid for the privilege to get it first before everyone else. So that's worth about $7.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Just to say, because MSRP is that 20 and you can get it on Miniature Market or cool stuff for like $12, $12.99. So
I just pre-ordered it straight from Stronghold.
Yeah.
Which
is a great thing.
Yeah, I did it. And that's part of it, right? Is that this way the support, the money goes directly to the publisher, which made sense to me. And I think I even did it the night that Steven was on the show. I think that's literally how that went down. Steven was on the show and I said, okay, here you go. So I suspect that was. And Tom in the chat is saying that even Bonacore doesn't like Terraforming Mars as much as Patrick does.
I don't think the Fricks brothers do.
That's fair. That's all right. That's a good thing. That's a good thing. Brandon, what's Zubal?
Zubal is a game that I've been playing. Did you say whether to buy it or burn it or play it? Or
I said it's a no-brainer.
No-brainer.
I am loath to give it an actual rating until I've played it.
Okay.
But great. Now we got to get new shirts.
We have to get new shirts?
with no-brainer on the back.
There's no-brainer on there too?
Yeah, just 2 words. No, 2 phrases. No-brainer and banana pants.
Banana pants.
Yes, there you go.
Yeah. So Zubal is a new game from Osprey Games that landed on my doorstep this past week, which is really fast for me to get a game to the table, right? BGG has it a weight of 1. So a 1.
Wow.
So what it is, it's a flicking game, okay? And the catch with this is it comes with its own little felt playing mat that's just folded up in the box, and you unfold it and you've got a pitch. It's soccer with animals and discs, and you're flicking, and it's fun, and it plays in like 15-20 minutes. 2 players is okay. Annabeth and I played that back and forth and we had a good time. But when you throw in 4 players on that mat, so the object is with 4 players is you want to be the first person to score a goal in the goal cat corner from you diagonally, okay? So everybody's going to be watching where everybody else is going. So there's just discs flying all over the place trying to save, if you're coming up on getting ready to score, everybody's going to go after it, right? And this mat is super slick. So everything just flies. You have to figure out the finesse. And I can't tell you how many discs I thought I'd lost already. But it's absolutely just a lot of fun. And that's really all it is you have 4 discs on each team. 3 are blockers. You can flick 3 of those or any combination of 3, flick 1 twice and 1 once just to try to set them up to block for you, right? And then you have one disc, which is a yellow color, and that's your score. That's the one you're trying to get into the opponent's goal. That's Zoo Ball.
That sounds awesome.
It is awesome. My only complaint is I think my felt mat was in the box a little too long, so it's got some creases in it. And so I was like, I'll just try to iron it out. And then I read the warnings.
Iron felt, right?
Yeah.
I don't know these things. I'm not domesticated. Oops. I didn't do it. It said it in the rule book. So
Hey, that's
it was a good enough rule book that I read the whole thing.
You might be able to steam it.
Yeah, it just says lay it out flat, and I've had it sitting under things, and the creases are. I've got a white crease through the middle of mine where it's kind of discolored from being folded so long, but other than that, it's flat now. So it goes. It flattens out pretty easily. You could probably even maybe spritz it with a little bit of water, damp it a little bit, and stretch it. I don't know. Is that bad for felt too?
I don't know.
I don't know either.
Ask Booth. He's like become a felt expert making all those things.
Yeah, he's a wizard, right?
There you go. Yeah.
I ordered some bit trays from him today.
Oh, gotcha. The circular ones you see he's working on. Anyway,
Yes. I'm giving him a plug.
Yeah. Those are called ramps. I'm missing what I'm talking about here. Anyway, so this one's from Duncan Malloy is the designer for it. And Osprey Games has been coming out with a lot of these little, $10 to $30, games that are really fast and really fun and really interesting.
Not dexterity though. This is a little bit
they're not. This just it is. But this kind of falls in that same, and it's in that same kind of neat fold box like they use for their bigger box games, like that open up instead of
Odin's Ravens.
Yeah, it comes in a box like that too. So I'm kind of awestruck with what they're doing right now, and we'll just see how long they can keep it up. Zoo Ball is a buy it if you like dexterity, silly games like this. This isn't for your serious, flickers or people that take Crokinole way too seriously.
There are serious flickers.
Yeah, there are. Trust me.
That's a thing.
Yes,
that's worrisome.
They have 3 Helsinki Crokinole boards up on the walls.
Okay. Yeah, I gotcha. All right, yeah.
This is not for that, but this is for if you just want a fun little 15-20 minute flicking game that you can play with anybody and have a good time. It's a buy it. But otherwise, yeah, definitely play it if you see it around.
Very cool. Very cool. All right. Well, my internet still sucks, so apparently turning back on my video was a terrible idea because I dropped out for about a minute there, but we're good. So let's jump into the main topic. I don't want to call them disposable games. All right. I'm just going to start with that term bugs me a little bit. And I don't know why, because they're not my games, it's not a thing where I don't have a personal stake in this, but we're talking about one-shot games. So these are games that are meant to not be replayed, right? So I guess the biggest
can we define this?
Because the way I see it, there's 3 categories for this.
Okay.
Category 1 is Pandemic Legacy, where you play it X number of times, but then at the end you can keep playing it, but it's a modified, personalized board for you.
Wait, can you keep playing Pandemic Legacy? You can keep playing Risk Legacy.
In theory, you can.
At the end, you could play Pandemic Legacy as regular Pandemic, just on the board that you've stickered up.
Okay. Using the rules or whatever. Yeah.
The game type number 2 is Time Stories, where you can play it once, but then you could give it to someone else because none of the components have been modified.
Okay.
And then type 3 is Exit, where you can only play it once and you modify the components so no one else can play it.
Okay.
That, to me, type 3 is a truly disposable game.
All right. I can get behind that. I guess I didn't really think of... See, to me, I've never even thought about replaying my Pandemic Legacy Season 1. Right, like we played, I think 18 games.
Either,
and then it went up on the shelf, and we're keeping it because I eventually am going to make a shadow box piece of like wall art about it. But we haven't even thought about playing it yet. But yeah, I knew Risk Legacy was intended to be playable after the 15 game whatever was done. I didn't know about the other one.
And the upcoming Charterstone is supposed to fall in that category as well.
Yeah.
You'll put stickers on your board, but at the end you'll have a worker placement game that'll be unique to you.
I was going to
Okay.
say, isn't that the ultimate goal with Charterstone, though, is to have that finished product?
Right.
That finished,
That's
if I'm
different.
understanding it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, yeah, I hope the game is fun up until that point.
Well, yeah, it's going to be, in theory, it's going to be, but
But it's not
It's
supposed to be done.
Kimberly!
it's a little bit
Kimberly's
different.
here.
Hi, Kimberly.
Hello, Kimberly Rubia, our prodigal co-host. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. How are you guys?
Very well. We
Great.
just started in on the main topic of disposable games. I'll just catch you up real quick. Eric proposed a definition which we like, which is number one, it's modified but then infinitely playable after modification is done. So like Pandemic Legacy and Risk Legacy, whatever. Category two is stuff that you can really only play at once, but then you can pass it along because you haven't physically changed anything. And then category three is stuff like Exit, where you physically change stuff and it can't really ever be played again.
Okay.
That's literally all the farther we got. You are now up to speed. Good job. So I have only experience with type 1 and type 2
Same
personally.
here.
I haven't played any of the Exit stuff, so I cannot speak to those. But those are truly disposable, right? Like that's the idea, is that
Yeah.
okay.
I've played Exit, and I actually just played Escape Room, the board game, which would fall under category 2.
Yeah.
So that's
Well,
you could play it once, but then you
Yeah,
could
well,
pass
I
it
mean, we
along.
wrote on it anyway because we're idiots, but we didn't need to.
Nice.
And when we were finished, we're like, oh, why didn't we just get a scratch pad?
Mm-hmm. I think
Well-
Daniel Newman managed to make the exits replayable, actually.
Yeah, that's
They're
what he was
trending.
just saying. A
And
standard.
Mason was saying they had a copy at BGG that they had modified to be replayable,
Right.
but at that point, it loses some of its charm too. Because if you know certain things need to be, there's no way to do it without having certain giveaways. At that point, it loses some of its charm too.
Yeah.
Because
Someone's got the YouTube going.
Man, I sound lovely.
Sorry.
There you go. Gotcha.
I'm trying to click over so I can see the damn chat.
Yes.
Gotcha.
Hold on for 1 second. You might hear it again in a second. Sorry.
So I want to respond to the type 2 moniker a little bit here by saying that I played the base Asylum scenario for Time Stories twice. Okay. I played it once. I think we might have to mute
It's
Kimberly
like she's
for a
never
minute.
been
till
on
she
this
gets it
show
figured out.
before.
I know. It has been forever. She's out of practice. There you go. I played the
You
base
think you
game
got it?
for Time Stories twice. I played it once with the group that, where we were all experiencing it together, and then I played it a second time with 3 other people that had not experienced it at all. And so I kind of knew it was coming, but I enjoyed it, but I enjoyed it in a different way. Does that make sense? So I think that Time Stories can be played more than once, and especially some of the scenarios, like a Prophecy of Dragons, I could very easily see playing that multiple times.
I could see acting as a GM and helping play it. I could never play those things again.
And Grogan talks about doing that a lot.
Yeah, and that's what he's doing. He's helping another group play it. He's not actively playing it.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
I could see that for sure, but no, I don't.
See, Prophecy of Dragons, the way that specific one is laid out, that is very replayable. Like, even if you know where the story is headed, you absolutely could play, like, just pick different characters. And I think we actually said at the end of that one, well, because we just played Prophecy of Dragons maybe 2 weeks ago, and we said at the end of that, yeah, we could see replaying that. That was different. It felt different than all of the other Time Stories ones, but I think that's the outlier, right? Like, otherwise, I think I agree with your sort of DM theory.
Yeah.
Right? Like, you're basically, if you're playing it, you're sort of just helping the other people enjoy the experience. For me, maybe that's why I enjoyed it too, is because I was always the DM back in my role-playing days.
Yeah.
So that was where I learned to draw my enjoyment from anyway.
Yeah.
So, Brandon,
No,
when we first talked about doing this topic, you insinuated that there was much grumblage that was going to come from you.
I didn't insinuate there would be much grumblage. I just insinuated that it wouldn't be the most pleasant topic for me.
Okay.
I'm not a.
I thought there was going to be more grumbling. Yeah.
I'm not a big fan of these types of games. Even with the ones Pandemic Legacy, I can't speak to. We've made it about halfway through, and everybody just quit. Nobody wants to continue it. It kind of got bored with it. But I think that's more of a pandemic thing than the legacy thing. You know,
Yep.
Unless my group has taken on my ADD with board games. You know, where we just can't do this more than 6 times. We're done.
That's the exact problem that I had with Risk Legacy, is I couldn't get people to finish the campaign because of the game.
And then the Gloomhavens and things like that, I don't count them as, disposable, because that's got so much content. I'll never see the end of it, honestly.
I don't think that claims to be. That's more of a campaign game.
Yeah, well, it's a campaign game with legacy type elements because the thing does change and it's different for everyone, right?
There are a lot of sealed packets and things
Yeah.
that you're not supposed to see until you get to a
Yes.
certain point. There are spoilers all
Yes.
over that game.
Time story is what I don't like. I don't like games that are rinse repeat. I don't like, oh crap, we've hit that wall. Now we have to go back and do all this boring bull crap that we did once before to get a little bit further. Oh crap, we hit that wall again. We got to go back and do it again. And then once it's all done, well, we're done with it after 3 plays. That bugs me.
Okay.
And then the exit games I haven't tried. I'm going to. They're going to South Carolina with me, but Unlocked was boring.
Yeah.
Oh.
So,
All right. So let's, like we've done in previous topics, I think getting a baseline here is good, right? So that way we all sort of know where we land. Because so I weighed in. Patrick, how do you feel about these?
I'm fine with them.
They don't bother you at all?
I don't want to sound snobbish, but I don't have money issues that much, so I don't care about the money side of it.
When you're done swimming in your pool of coins,
Yes, thank you.
you don't mind buying.
I was gonna say, you'd realize that now we have to Photoshop
Screwed
your
me
face on the
ducking
screen.
not wearing pants. Do you understand
you.
that?
Yes,
That's common. Mhm.
Patrick's
Patrick, are you
not wearing any pants right now.
wearing any pants. My family just called me Captain Sweatpants at dinner.
Nice.
Anyway, no, I mean, it's just, so I don't get caught up in the money part of it. There's the discussion of the money side of it. So we
Right.
need to table that, because I know that's an issue for some people, but we don't know. We have fun with it. So
And
we
ultimate.
gained. Go ahead.
Go ahead. Sorry.
Like with time stories, we've kind of gotten to the point where I agree with Brandon. It's kind of gotten boring to replay them. So we've just sort of gamed it and kind of, okay, we're not going to replay it. Let's just undo what we just did, pretend that we redid it, and move on. And it's like holding the page in a choose your own adventure book when you're a kid.
I have a question. Have you played Prophecy of Dragons?
Yes, I didn't like that one. I didn't like that one as much, but the others did. So
Okay. I'm curious because that one, from a mechanic standpoint, specifically has you don't have to go back.
right, no, that worked too. That was interesting.
Right. So, okay, cool. Kimberly, how about you? Where do you land on this?
I have not played Type 3. I have not played any exits or permanently ruined games. I have played Pandemic Legacy, the entire campaign, the first season, I mean, and the exit games and some of the escape room games. I enjoy them. They're all replayable. I mean, Pandemic Legacy, I guess the base game is replayable. Yeah. I enjoy escape room anything quite a bit and puzzles. So,
Gotcha. So that's already in your wheelhouse to begin with.
yes, I've not played Time Stories at all, though.
Okay.
That's more story driven, right? So,
It's pretty puzzly.
is it?
I would
didn't
say
really
it's.
play it with.
I don't know. Time Stories is such a weird animal, right? Because the mechanics don't specifically change dramatically from game to game, from box to box or whatever. But every one of them to me has felt completely differently, right? Like the base game felt all story and ambiance. Like when you played the one that comes in the box, that one to me was all about the setting. And whereas like the Marcy case was all about one puzzle that you spent all game trying to solve. And then, you know what I mean? So they each, to me, focused sort of on a different aspect of the system. which I think is why I keep coming back to it, and I'm okay with it because I'm enjoying the fact that what they seem to be doing is taking one system and then approaching its utilization from a bunch of different angles. And I think I find that interesting from a design standpoint. You know what I mean? Does that make sense? I don't know. I think, I don't know. I have two major thoughts that I wanted to come at this topic with. The first one was, are games art? And the reason why I asked that is because if games are pieces of art in and of themselves, then this is a perfectly acceptable way of sort of poking that paradigm, right? Do you see what I mean here? Help me out here, guys. I feel like if you approach games as art as much as they are just mechanical systems, then this is just a different type of art, right? And so therefore disposable doesn't feel like the right term. It's providing you an experience.
Right.
No, I mean, I think of them as more like events.
Okay. So
Like you would buy a ticket to a movie.
Yeah, and this is the comparison that I hear a lot, right? And hell, I think I've made this comparison too, that, you know, let's say you're spending $30 on a game you can only play once. That's still cheaper than taking a family of 4 to the movie theater to watch the latest anything, you know, and plus you don't have to eat overpriced popcorn, you know, or whatever. I think that's valid from a money standpoint, but like Patrick said, money is going to be different for everybody. Like everybody is going to approach that from a whole different thing, because games are not a dynamic price point, right? Like this game is going to cost $50 whether you live in Seattle, where, you know, it costs you know, twice as much as it does in Wisconsin or whatever, right? So yeah, that's all relative. So I agree with Patrick. I don't think money is I
don't know. I think I see all games slightly broken down by plays per price point, personally.
Okay.
I'm less likely to buy any $75 game or whatever if I think I'm only going to play it twice. Unless I'm going to play it twice and it's 2 epic 6-hour sessions of enjoyment.
So like
then that automatically has more value to me.
Okay. How about you, Eric?
Well, my issue with these style of games, specifically with the exit games, is that they were up for and then won the Kenner spiel. I don't know.
Yes.
I enjoyed my play of the abandoned cabin. I like puzzles like Kimberly. I had fun doing it. I threw it out afterwards. I don't have a problem throwing a game out. I know some people would keep it because throwing a game box out is heresy. I'm looking at you, Brandon. He'll bring them home from vacation played. But anyway, my issue is I feel like that, and yes, I get that it's innovative and it's doing a new thing. That be it as it may, that thing has been repeated like ad infinitum already. There's like 12 imitators and competitors, but I get that they were rewarded for that. But seeing them win the game of the year, I feel like it's rewarding all the wrong things for the hobby as a whole. Because I feel, and this is my personal feeling, obviously this is debatable, but the idea of board gaming is that it's something you can do with your family or friends or other people that you can do over and over again. Like you can have the same board game at your grandma's house your whole life and go back to it every time you visit. Or you could have a shelf on your game shelf and bring it out, and you get into traditions where you play certain games with certain people at certain times, at holidays, at this or that. But this is it's a one-off thing. It's fun, it's cool, but then it's in the garbage, and it's not a thing. And if they keep making them, yes, you can keep playing them, but there's no guarantee of that either. Are you laughing at me?
No, I'm laughing at Kimberly because she's ridiculous.
Well, I'm done.
I love you, Eric.
Oh, I just saw your message. Okay. Yep.
Yeah, he's a little
Poorly
pixely. So
I'll sit up. I'll sit up.
there you go.
Is my mustache less cartoonish looking now?
Yeah. just harassing Eric in the side private chat. Sorry, kids.
And now we lost my entire train of thought and brilliant point to my silly mustache.
I come on occasionally just to derail things.
Did we lose Bill?
It
Sounds
may
like
be
it.
happening again. Yep, I just got the text that says "arg." So
yes, we lost Bill.
we
covered all of those bases.
on. Okay.
So
I
of type 1 and
I kind of lost discussion between 1 and 2. Is anyone?
I did.
Did we talk about them? About like unlocked versus?
Well, I don't have much to say on the
Unlocked
pandemic
versus Pandemic Legacy.
or the time story style games because I've never played either because I'm not a big co-op fan. Although I did just have someone lend me a copy of Time Stories because they're done with it, so I will be able to play the base one at least, but I won't have an opinion on that.
And the base one is the far better one of the bunch.
Really, of all of them.
Yep. That we've played. We're apparently taking 2 more on vacation.
In my
but
opinion, your first one is the best one.
Yeah. Well, okay. Yeah. There. How about that? That's a better way to put it. Simply
okay,
because
I see.
it's all fresh and those mechanics, like they're saying, they don't do too much different as they go on. There's little twists and things, but that first one is going to be the freshest and it's going to be the newest kind of thing to you.
Yeah.
So it's going to seem better. So yeah, I can say that. I think we played Marcy first. So,
Right.
or no, not Marcy. We played the Asylum. Sorry.
Do I exist again?
That
Hey, I exist
Yes.
again, I think.
You exist.
Excellent.
Yes.
Oh, Lord. I think I got the idea is that you guys were saying your first impression with the system is always going to be better because it's new.
Yep.
Was that what I was picking up? All right, good.
Yeah, with the time story system.
Yeah, with time stories. I think I agree. I think that we had the most fun with Asylum, and it's been on a steadily decreasing curve since then. Although Prophecy of Dragons did bring something new enough to it that I think that was my second favorite. But
an even more horrible rule book that all had
yeah,
to fix.
I will say this: the rule books are real bad.
Yeah, they are.
It's
But I
real
think
bad.
I can see why they're kind of bad because they're trying not to spoil certain things and they're trying to be very, very, very careful. And also, we're a French company, so
Yeah. Okay, but you know what? We keep giving. We kind of keep giving publishers passes on bad rule books. This is.
Yeah.
I'm getting kind of
Patrick
tired.
doesn't.
Yeah. Well, good.
Could not.
Speak for yourself.
I'm saying we as an industry.
Yes.
Yeah,
We keep
do.
buying these games that we need technical writers to be editing these suckers.
Well, one of the problems with that is you don't know the rule book is bad until you've bought it.
yeah.
That's fair. Yeah.
Well, yeah. but
Actually, that's not
companies
true.
like
Some people go
Asmodeus-
and download the rule book months ahead
Yeah.
of time.
I think
Yeah,
people
I'm just
download
not
it.
one of those people.
Some companies
Yeah.
don't allow that though, and so it gets annoying. I'm one of the downloaders. I've got a folder full of them sitting there on the Google
Holy
Drive.
And I have a folder full of P&Ps I'll never print.
Yeah. Yeah. I think we all have
keep
that.
giving them to me.
Yeah.
But
So is there
Kickstarter
anything
and
else like time stories though in that category?
Of a modular one shot?
Yeah.
Not yet.
stuff. Well, some of the escape room unlock is
Are we calling unlock that way?
It
Since
has
you're not
to.
destroying it.
Yeah, I guess it would be.
Yeah, you don't ruin that.
No,
Right.
you don't.
Okay. Yeah, you don't. But I guess the way that I was looking at Time Stories is that Time Stories is unique in that you really only have to learn one system.
Yeah.
You know, there's only one set of mechanics that you need to understand in order to be able to play it. And then you keep.
I think that applies to the
Yeah, that
unlock as
applies to
Does it?
unlock as well. Yeah.
Does it? Okay.
It's just different ways of doing it.
Okay.
The same thing.
Got it. All right. I haven't played Unlock, so I guess I don't really know that.
Yeah, I feel like with those escape room games, you don't need to know any. There almost is no system.
No.
There's just a way to key in that you figured out the puzzle,
Right.
and that's really pretty simple usually.
Okay, but then in that case, I go back and I reaffirm what I was saying about Time Stories because Time Stories is giving you a board game system, right, with multiple story packs to plug into it. It's more like a tabletop RPG, right, where you learn how to play D&D and then any story can be plugged into that system.
Yeah, they're trying to sell into that DLC kind of people, you know, the people who grew up with their video games, and then to keep lengthening the length of the game, you just keep adding little bits to it.
See, I don't know that I agree with that assessment. I get where you're going with that, but like Matt Friends in the chat asked about RPG pre-made stories. And I think that's, I'm keying off of more of that. You learn how to play the game in D&D or whatever, and then the stories are what keep getting added, like modules to an RPG. You see what I mean? Which is slightly different than like the DLC model, to me anyway. But maybe that's because I come at it from an RPG background originally. I don't know.
Tomato.
Yeah, possibly. Can we back up a few minutes when my internet crapped out like 2 times ago? And can I address the Kennerspiel thing? Because I want to just poke this bear one last time.
We got into this when the last time we were on 2 weeks ago, and then my internet went out.
Yeah, that was supposed to be the why we talked about this.
Here's what I want to. I've been thinking about this a little bit, and I wonder, do we think it's possible that they're trolling all of us? Like, seriously, do we think it's possible that they voted this one for Kennerspiel specifically to go to reaction out of gamers?
That's the impression I got.
Sure.
Like that they're literally just making themselves relevant by saying something weird.
Yes.
Like when they pick like a ridiculous person of the year for the magazine.
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah, sure. Why not?
I actually sort of wonder if maybe that's part of the strategy, because every year, right, Spiel des Jahres comes out, and then a significant segment of the board gaming population is filled with righteous rage at whatever it was that got won or didn't win or whatever.
That's not the award.
We're getting some
That's
disagreement in the
That's
chat
the
room, Bill.
Community.
Yeah, I'm with Daniel and John here. That it's not that. That's the people. That's not the jury doing this.
Well, you know what it is people have a set expectation of the weight of the games that can win. But if you look back over the 20, 30 years, there has been outliers on both ends. And then when it doesn't fit the middle of that range, people go berserk.
Yeah, and we said it before, even the Kennerspiel Terraforming wasn't going to win it. It was too too heavy.
Yeah.
And then Raiders had such a small kind of, I guess it's not really a small
Raiders should have won.
I've never played it, so I can't speak to the gameplay, but all I can talk about is it had, compared to the Exit games, it had a small distribution. Right.
Oh, I mean, yeah. It was distributed 2 years ago via Kickstarter from New Zealand.
Exactly. So the Exit the game fit in, of the 3, the Exit the game fit the Kennerspiel perfectly, more perfectly than the other 2 did. It hit more of the spots than those other 2 did.
But are they caring about distribution? I didn't really think that was. I thought they were just picking Game of the Year based on.
It's going to go to who's going to see it. This is,
and also Renegade's putting Raiders out now, so it's not like it won't be available.
No, but that has nothing to do with it.
Well, but you're saying it has something to do.
No, it had nothing to do with it at that point because they had already voted. They didn't know Renegade had it, right?
I don't think that's true. No, I think the Renegade announcement came before the vote.
Okay. It may have. I don't know.
Yeah, I think the vote is a long time ago, wasn't it?
Yeah, the vote, they just wait to release their whatever.
The vote happened well before the actual announcement.
Yes.
Yeah.
And now that I can see the chat room again, because I've had to re-enter this thing so many times, and apparently this is the thing that decided to freeze this week. I'm picking up what people are saying, and I think Daniel and Thomas sort of are splitting the right side of things pretty down the middle here. That it's that small but vocal internet minority, right? Yeah. Like which is pretty much 80% of the problems with the internet in the first place, if you ask me. But hey, what do I know? So yeah, you're probably right. I just was wondering, it just feels to me like maybe I don't know that Kennerspiel, I know that Spiel des Jahres, the primary award, drives a ton of sales. I guess I don't know if Kennerspiel does as well, but maybe. I don't know.
I would imagine they all sell.
Yeah, well, I'm sure it doesn't hurt, right? Like it definitely doesn't hurt their sales.
Yeah, I don't know about in general, but I mean, I got Imhotep and because of just the nod.
Yeah.
Just to try it.
Right, but are we not that small but vocal minority? We
are that small but vocal, so I don't think that necessarily.
Well, not that
same implication.
That's what I was thinking, Patrick.
The outlier.
That's a line from shoot, what's that movie?
I don't.
We think you're pretty, Patrick.
Well,
Thank you.
well,
It's just with Robin Williams in the nightclub, the gay nightclub.
Oh,
The birdcage?
Birdcage. It's a line from the
Birdcage is so
Birdcage. Anyway.
Yeah.
So
And we've lost Bill. He's turned into a transformer.
Bill is
So we're back to Mars.
While we've been chatting, I'm just going to throw out something interesting factoid.
Okay,
Yeah, there
do
you
it.
go, Thomas, the Birdcage. I did a friendless stats on games I own and I've only played once. 205.
That's more games than I own.
I know. So, so when we complain about, buying a game and throwing it away. there you
Yeah.
go.
I don't particularly have a problem with disposable games in general.
Right.
I
But
just
let's
haven't found one that was good enough, in my opinion, that I enjoyed.
But
You know what I
Brendan, let's say you go on this vacation, right? And you play Exit.
Yeah.
What? Don't sound so
What if your mind
excited
is
about
blown?
your vacation. But so let's say it was the greatest gaming experience of your life,
Yeah.
and you can do it 3 times now, and then in 6 months from now you could do it 3 more times. Meanwhile, have you played Ginkopolis more than 3 times?
I've played it 40 some odd times.
Exactly my point.
But there's no point to be made. If
Ginkopolis
I'm
is-
enjoying it one time as much as you say I do, it shouldn't matter if I can play it 42 times.
So if you could only have your favorite meal 3 more times in your life, you'd be okay with that?
You're talking to a fat guy here. That doesn't.
Hey,
I'd get tired of steak every night, so that's why I like it.
but not every night. But my point is, whenever you want it. This isn't a thing you can't do. If this is your favorite game, you can't do it whenever you want to.
Maybe some of those
Whereas most
experiences
board
shouldn't
games,
be
whatever you
repeated,
want
you
to.
know? And maybe after more repeatings, it dwindles in fun.
Things that
Or-
shouldn't be repeated. Having pedantic arguments with Brandon.
Exactly.
ooh, shots fired.
And I'm on the side here, Bill. I'm the one defending these throwaway games, and I wasn't going to.
He just wants to argue with me.
Don't we all?
I think
Am
that
still here?
a fair amount of people, that's going to impact more the replayability issue. And then there are more people who will see it as more of an event or time spent.
But these
versus-
are also these ones that we're throwing away aren't. These are like a lunch, right? We're not talking
these are pretty-
pandemic legacy prices to throw away
No,
a game
no.
after one play. We're talking $12,
Yeah, I'm
which
not
you
arguing
spent
with
getting
that
your iced
point.
coffee and your Danish or whatever it is in the morning.
Your
In New York
avocado
City.
toast.
Mhm.
I'm just arguing the fact that I
I
don't want
know.
to see the whole industry go this way because the
And it-
industry goes in waves.
Never
And
would.
it won't. It can't go.
No, I don't even think that's a slight. Sorry. It probably
No.
looks like an earthquake. I just moved my pillow.
No, but I'm just thinking about the waves of trick-taking games and the waves of roll and writes, and then now there's a wave of escape games, let alone just disposable games.
The
Right.
micro games, everything comes in waves. Even the
Right.
movies do.
It'll come in a
That
way.
is-
Just the way it happens.
I would
This
assume
hobby
that
has.
interest will waver and it'll not be nearly as prominent in another 2 years, probably. But for now,
This hobby has gone through phases of a particular mechanic or style of game being the hotness and then going away, and then being the hotness and going away
Yeah.
until the next one comes along. Look at deck builders. When Dominion happened, everyone and their brother made a deck builder, and most of them were eminently forgettable. There's maybe like a half dozen that anybody is still playing with any regularity nowadays. And I'm counting the 97 iterations of Thunderstone, right? Like, I mean, this is, we go through this all the time, but at the end of the day, no one of these fads has ever completely taken over this hobby. Some of them have shaped the hobby. Like, I would argue that deck building is probably one of the most influential styles of games that's come out in recent memory, but none of them have really overwhelmed anything, even roll and writes. And I think we're just more sensitive to roll and writes because there are certain very vocal personalities on social media and in gaming media in general that are way in love with them, you know. So I don't know.
They are a Twitter darling.
Yeah, that's for sure. Well, and it makes sense, right? Because that it's they're quick hits that allow you to game during weird time frames of your day, and it makes perfect sense.
Yep.
people.
You played at a coffee shop.
Yeah, exactly. They're not for me. I've already determined that this is not a style of game I'm ever going to get into. But I'm also not worried that everything is going to be a roll and write.
Yeah.
I think we're going to go through about 6 more months of it, and then something else is going to come along. And I think it's the same with this. I think the difference is
I think just like
wait for them.
anything else, it's a fad.
Eclipse the roll and write, and then we're gonna watch Bill foam at the mouth.
no, you really won't.
Daniel, make Eclipse the roll and write. Daniel's watching.
We
need a clever name. Can we work on the name first and then the game?
Yeah.
Clips and no, I can't. I'm out. I've never
Daniel's
played
already tired of rolling right, so there you go.
Right.
No,
But I think that's the thing, right? If a game doesn't have the weight to really engage you for long periods of time, it's going to be flash in the pan stuff, like wallet games, right? Like the micro games. There are, again, a precious few of them that anybody is still playing. And in general, there were a million of them, and they came and they went and they're gone. And I think this is just going to be that all over again. My humble opinion.
I think
And
it's a fad.
they take the best of what these things have to offer and they try to merge it into something different, you know?
Yeah.
And it just grows a little bit. So we'll see. We'll see if this part, you know, kind of becomes something in other games. Maybe you have maybe that's what Charterstone will be, is that next evolution of it.
I think that's exactly what Charterstone is going to try to be. Now, whether it actually succeeds or not, I think that's exactly what it's trying to do, though, is take this idea and iterate on it in an interesting way.
Yep.
And maybe I suspect
Which
it
is
is
why
also it's also trying to capitalize on the failure of Seafall. My opinion. No, I'm serious. I think that Seafall was the great white whale, right? Like this was the game that was going to be Rob Daviau's, you know, magnum opus, and then it flopped hard.
Because it was they were trying the competitive modern one instead of the cooperative, and I'm not counting Risk Legacy in that. And they were trying to build a competitive game from scratch to be a legacy game. And this is like the second attempt at that.
And it's trying to do let's not do a rule book. We know how well those go over.
Andor worked perfectly.
They work.
Well,
yeah. Andor works. XCOM works.
You won't be able to complain about it if it doesn't exist, Patrick.
Yeah. That's, you know what? You laugh, but if you jack up the rules in a game that is app dependent or something like that, you can patch it.
Yeah.
You can patch it easily.
Yeah, real easily. Like XCOM
is trying to do.
Well, they better not patch it after I put the damn stickers on the board.
Just more stickers.
Yo, dog, we heard you like stickers.
Just more stickers.
Here's some more stickers for your stickers.
We hear you like stickers.
I guess my final thought on this really comes down to this. I like any time when we do something different with this hobby, right? Like I don't want to play another just deck builder where there's one or maybe two kinds of, you know, currency that you use to buy cards. I don't want to play that. I want to play something that pushes the boundaries and does something different with the hobby. And I think that that's what this is, right? Like this forces that newness, which I think is kind of cool.
Mm-hmm.
I agree. Again, my sole thing is I'm just bitter at the Kenner spiel. That's it. But I like them. I do. I played one this week. I played the Exit while it was a nominee, and I enjoyed both of them. The Exit was better, by the way, than the Escape Room the game. I don't know. It was like the Walmart one with this big plastic thing that you put things in slots.
The thing that looks like a bomb.
Yeah, it was like a cheap toy bomb, and it takes batteries.
Yeah, Matt Evans from Board Game Replay tried to take it on. I mean, he was okay with it, but we're in line at BGG for TSA, and he has just that plastic bomb thing in the top of his carry-on bag.
Jesus.
I'm sure that went over well.
I literally went and got in a different area of TSA because I didn't want to look like I was with him.
I don't know him.
Yeah.
Nice.
You will.
Well, for the record, I think that this is just such a cool idea. I actually like that it's stirring up conversation about what game design is, right? And like what's a good value, because I think maybe we can do a little navel gazing here and start to analyze the hobby itself. Maybe this will provoke more thought, you know what I mean, as far as like the consumer driven side of things. At least we're thinking about it again.
I have one final thought
Please.
specific to escape rooms. All the escape room games I've seen, you can play solo, and the point of the game is to solve puzzles and your time to solve puzzles. Where do you draw the game between a puzzle and a game? Is it just that you're being timed?
God.
I knew you were going to say it, and I think you meant draw the line, not draw the game between a puzzle and a game.
Stop derailing me, Kimberly. My thoughts are my words.
This conversation worries me every time it comes up.
Yes.
Because
yep, that's exactly the thing. No two people are going to have the exact same opinion of what is a game and what is not a game.
Does everybody remember Tom Vassel's rant about Hanabi not being a game?
No.
No.
Oh my God!
I missed that.
This was a big deal when because he went on the Dice Tower video and talked about how he did not feel that Hanabi was a game. It was more of an activity, and it was a huge, just crabby storm, you know. Especially,
well, look, like you said,
I'm not trying to stir up a storm. I just want to know I don't think Crokinole is a board game. That to me is a
dexterity game.
I'm gonna mute him now.
I think that you need to clarify.
That's literally made out of boards.
Been considered
like that's wood boards.
Dexterity game.
that's more of a board game than anything we talk about on this show. And
back to the, I mean, this came up in the Kennerspiel in the Spiel des Jahres Awards. Was number 9 didn't get nominated because one of the jury members said it was too much of a puzzle and not a game. So, I mean, everybody's confused about it.
It's the same jury that nominated Hanabi.
And it's also the same one that gave Exit the game. So, yeah.
You know what? I think maybe we literally just created a topic for another show. I'm not even kidding. I think what makes this a game. I'm serious because we could spend a lot of time on this, and I think we should. But we are pretty much at the end of our show now.
Hey, we should call that one a deep dive, Bill.
And what a deep dive? What games are? That's maybe too.
What classifies it as a game?
All right.
I think that's the thing that it does the thing. It will not. Nobody's going to agree. It will have to be listed as an opinion show.
Daniel and Tom both don't want us to do this episode.
Like, don't do it.
No, and John, nobody does.
Hey, do it while I'm on vacation.
We've officially
that's like
we've officially found our first topic nobody wants. This is great.
I was going to say, get Travis Hill on. He would love to totally talk about words for an hour.
It's been done.
Daniel, to be fair, a lot of the stuff that we talk about has been done elsewhere. That doesn't mean we're not going to talk about it. Just throwing that out there. As soon as we can come up with a truly unique topic, that will be a magic day for all of us.
I'm sorry, we already had one, and it was Patrick Donald Ducking, or I mean Scrooge McDucking.
Scrooge McDucking.
By the way, we will be contacting Willie Hung and making that Photoshop work happen. I'm just throwing that out there. You think I'm kidding? It's there you go. All right, round the horn. Where do people find out more about you? I'm going to start left to right as I'm seeing avatars. Brandon?
Oh, you weren't supposed to start with me because I
can't
was
help
supposed to be the guy who goes, we're part of Punchboard Media.
And we all bring something to the table.
Thank you.
Yeah, we can all say that. We're part of
completely brain farted on that.
Can we get a soundboard?
Yeah, we need a soundboard on this show real bad. I know. I'm working on it.
Oh, I've got a headache at this point. I'm Brandon Kempf. You can find me on the What Did You Play This Week podcast and on Twitters at VacaBCK and at WDYPTW. And you can also find me right here on the Cubist when I'm here.
So I'd like to hear Eric.
I am on Twitter at Eric Buscemi. I write things on the internet. They go on Board Game Geek and the Punchboard Media website. I write as the Cardboard Horde, and I also occasionally am lucky enough to be a guest host on the Cubist. Thank you, Bill.
Yay! Kimberly.
Oh, howdy, yo. Hi, I am Kimberly. I missed that part earlier.
We didn't. She's Kimberly, everybody.
At KJ Revia on Twitter and granitegamesummit.com. I run Granite Game Summit and at G2 Summit on Twitter. I think I'm at via Instagram too.
Very
And
good.
REBIA. I realize that's maybe not a gift.
Like stevia, but with an R. All right.
And also without a T.
And also without a T, but that's fine. Close enough. All right. Patrick.
You can find me sitting on my pile of gold. I am at Over the Hillier, and I also actually blog very rarely. I just wrote a blog about my weekend at CraigCon, which we didn't talk about, and my website, www.overthehillier.com. And I'm, of course, a member of What Did You Play This Week podcast, and we are going to be publishing, I don't know when, Brandon, our chat with friend of the show here, Daniel Newman.
Mr. Daniel Newman. That'll be next week on Wednesday. I'm giving you the exact date. I'm sorry. The 9th, right?
That's okay. We just I just got done editing it and posted it final run through tonight.
Very good.
Oh, I was on that too.
And
Yes, my Robin.
And of course, you can follow the show on Twitter at Cubist Podcast. Hit up thecubistpodcast.com. Please, please, please check out our Patreon page if you want to support on a monthly basis, or if you just want to pick up some merch, that helps the show as well. You can hit the shop button at the top of the website. All of those things help to pay the bills here and keep the lights on at the Cubist, so we really appreciate it. And of course, you can follow me personally at Bill Corey Jr. Yeah, maybe you can help me pay for a freaking internet connection worth a damn. Oh my God. So anyway, thanks everybody for watching / listening / putting up with my crap internet.
And
Sorry about that, folks.
We'll reach the next level of his Patreon. You'll get to see his face instead of his logo.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, there you go. Till I get a
ready?
certain threshold, I'm not turning my damn video on anymore. There.
We are all proud members of Punchboard Media.
Where?
See, you're all
Here we go.
Y'all bring something to the table.
There you go.
None of us are
brought
bringing anything to this audio clip.
We just brought it.
Worst audio ever. Everybody have a great week, y'all. We will see y'all next week. Be good.